Welcome back to Pre-Algebra Chapter 4, Section 7 in this book. But you don't have to have the book to learn this. We're going to learn scientific notation. Now, why is there such a thing? It's because of this. Your calculator can do math on bigger and smaller numbers than fit on the display. Much bigger and smaller. So they figured out a way to make numbers shorthand so that calculators could understand them and do the math on it and tell you the answer. And a lot of times in science is where you use this. The super big numbers and the super small numbers. So how do you do this? It is a shorthand way of writing numbers. So here I have a really big number, okay? And I'm going to turn it into scientific notation. But first I need to show you what the format is, okay? And it's this. If a number is in scientific notation, it's got a non-zero number, a decimal, any other non-zero numbers, see how we got all those zeros there, and then, this is the confusing part, the time symbol. I know! You thought we were done with that thing. That now times is a dot, or it's parentheses, or it's a number sitting next to a letter. Except, in scientific notation, we still use the time symbol. I know, you're shocked and appalled slightly, but be strong. Alright, and then it's the number 10 to an exponent. Okay, so that's our format. I'll show you how to do it. What I do is I pretend that the decimal point is a frog. Of course I do. And I'm going to count and see how many times it jumps till it gets into its proper place, which is behind the first non-zero number, which is in this case the number 1. So you get ready for the frog to hop. He's a blue frog. He's an Amazon rainforest poisonous frog. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ribbit. He said ribbit. So it was 8 frog hops in this direction. When the frog hops 8 times in this direction, we're going to have a positive exponent. That sounds confusing. It's not at all. I'll show you in a second. Okay, so we're going to write it in the proper form. 1.23 times 10, how many frog hops do we have? 8. The exponent is positive when it's a really big number, way bigger than 1. And the exponent is negative when it's a tiny little decimal. That's all you have to remember, and then it'll make sense. Alright, so let's do this one. So here is my frog. He's got to hop to his proper place behind the 1. Okay, let's count how many times he hops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this number is 1.23, he's in his right place now, times 10 to the negative 9th, because this was a little bitty number, so it's a negative exponent. We're going to do that in a second. We're going to do some other things first. We're going to practice some more and come back to that. Okay, so let's do this one. Here's our decimal frog. Super decimal frog. He needs to hop into his proper place behind the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 1.2 times 10 to the negative 4th, because this number started off was less than 1. Now, let's take this one out of scientific notation and make it regular. So my frog, this is a big number. It's positive. So my frog's got to hop that way. And this is sort of in the way, so I would rewrite this on another line in real life. But we're going to go 7 hops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what do I put in those little spaces? Zeros. And there's my number. It's 32 million. What a big number. Okay, let's try this one. It's to the negative 5, and then if I was doing this for homework like you would, I would write this down on a different line, but I'm a little short of space. So I'm going negative 5, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I got to go negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was negative, so that means it's going to be a number way less than 0. I put zeros here. there's my decimal point. And a lot of times if a number has a decimal point, a lot of times we'll put an extra zero here. You don't have to have it. So this number is 0.1234869. Now here's the problem. They want us to put these in order from greatest to least. This is like when we did the fractions. It's hard to tell because they're not all in scientific notation. So let's put this one that's not in scientific notation. There's our frog. Let's see how many times he hops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Ribbit. So it's 3.8 times 10 to the 6th. Okay, so now if the greatest one is going to be the one that has the highest exponent and then the biggest number. So 6 is more than 5 and 9 is more than 8. That's the greatest. That's the middle, and that's the least. They're already in order from greatest to least. They were tricky, giving us one that was already in order. All right, now, remember why I told you we do this? It's because of the calculator. We don't just do it for fun. So you got to know how to put this in your calculator. So the problem is y'all don't have the TI-84 yet. So your calculator, you're going to have to mess with it and figure it out. But I'll give you some clues right now. You might have a button that says EE. That's for scientific notation. It's for exponential. Or it might have EXP on it. Or it might say SCI if you have a Casio. Okay. If you have the TI-84, yours is found as the second of the comma. If you look at the comma right there, painted on my pink calculator is a capital EE. So that's my scientific notation, all right? So once you find it, like if I was going to put in this problem, okay, so I would turn on my calculator, I would do beginning parentheses, which is right here, and now I would say 1.5, second comma, which is EE, and it would put up this. It would do 1. That's a terrible 5. 1.5 lowercase e. That e means times 10. So when I put that EE, I am telling it the times 10. Then I tell it the exponent, which you don't put in times 10, that's what your E is. I put in my exponent, which is -4. So -4 on the bottom. And now I do in parentheses. Now I'm going to do this one. Beginning parentheses, 5. I'm going to say second comma to get my E there. And then I'm going to put the exponent, 3, in parentheses, enter. And it tells me the answer is 0.75. Now that's not in scientific notation. If it was, this frog would have to hop into its proper place and it'd be 7.5 times 10 to the -1 because it hops that way. But I really don't like that. If a number is small enough that your calculator can show it, I like it to be, because in my head I know what 0.75 is. 75 cents, 3/4 of a dollar. But that, 7.5 times 10 to the -1, that's a little confusing. I might have to think about how to do it. So use your calculator. Make sure you know how to do these problems on your calculator. And then make sure you know how to put numbers into and out of scientific notation. I, of course, love this part because it's science. And this is something I've always taught in science. But now I teach it in math, and I'm like, how come my kids didn't know it already when they got to 11th and 12th grade math? Why did I always have to teach them how to do scientific notation? I don't know. I'll never know. All right, math is great. Come back and we'll learn chapter 5. Yay!